You know, maybe sometime in the future there's going to be random Tetris matchups with Tetris Forever, being that just two players pick a game and whoever gets a higher score wins or something like that.
Yeah, it is pretty nice that we have that archive, but we are gonna get into the match now. Combatant set, ArcFox on the left, Ferox on the right. We're gonna see the PCO from ArcFox talking about that unconventional playstyle that we mentioned earlier, and oh no, the 6-3 misdrop from Ferox isn't looking too good, but this is phase 1, so the initial pacing does not matter that much.
Yeah, and of course, Ferox with that quick 6-3 gets down to the garbage and now has a beautiful well that, thanks to phase 3, that can be a massive attack, and with Ferox now at full zone, and using it now, that can be very detrimental. We'll have to see how ArcFox can recover out of his couple of misdrops here and get something good going.
Yeah, we do see Ferox fire the zone first, and oh my gosh, if they get that eyepiece over, no, that kick isn't working, but with the T placement it does, managing to get 54 in 19, and ArcFox is not too far behind, but they do have to deal with all of the post pressure that Ferox is starting to stack up right now. ArcFox looking for a higher solve, but they're going to be hard capped at 18 lines, sending 50 over, but all that means is that they're just going to receive those 4 lines of clean to work with.
Yeah, and as they very quickly entered into phase 2 now, and now Ferox has a little bit of misplacements here to get through, but with a couple lines here and there is going to stack down beautifully. And with that zone, that giving 14 attack there, gives a little bit of pressure to ArcFox, but cleans up the board and makes ArcFox have to zone to get something to retaliate.
And despite ArcFox's situation there, it looked like they were in a pretty clear disadvantage. Oh my gosh, and that might actually remain the case because Ferox sees the end of their garbage, but they don't have a full zone for this transition. I think ArcFox is trying to set up a TST tower there, but unfortunately they miscounted their height differences. And that is going to be the transition, and ArcFox is going to be on the receiving end of the cheese.
Yeah, now in phase 3 with that 60,000 score, garbage being very messy, and we'll have to see how the players react, but Ferox with the spin that absolutely just take it, but ArcFox still alive and has a little bit of room to hopefully stack, but that eyepiece did not allow it to happen.
Yeah, and Ferox is going to be on the board now. We have the classic statement, Fin to win. Ferox is a big believer in that, and it is actually working out, and they're going to try and convert this into momentum for future rounds.
Yeah, as we begin, it does seem that both players are going 6-3 to start, with a bit of a T-spin to continue on ArcFox's side, and Ferox has something on the board that will take a little bit of time to clean through, but not too bad, just has to keep it up and not go hard, but with all the pressure ArcFox sending, that's putting Ferox pretty high right now.
Yeah, Ferox did have a few misdrop there that forced him to soft drop. A little bit of panic is gonna force him to do some target mode skims, but at the same time, this is still phase 1, so they have plenty of time to recuperate this lost pacing. But ArcFox has a really nice zone opportunity here. They see the end of their garbage queue, but they're not gonna be able to access those clean lines on the right side. So Ferox is gonna have an insane zone lead here.
Yeah, and with it being still early on in phase 2, this is a long enough zone that Ferox can get things done. And with that T-spin set up there, it gets both of them in there nicely, and now has a bunch of attack that is now ready to queue up. 47 and 16. That now means ArcFox has his own to get back as much as he can.
Yeah, and ArcFox actually set up a DT in zone. The scary thing about those kinds of overhang setups, oh no! Unfortunately, they weren't ready for the incoming pressure, and Ferox is going to take another point. But the interesting thing about setting up those overhangs in the zone is that you're not allowed to wait for gravity. You really have to skill stop on that soft drop, and they did end up executing it correctly, but it just wasn't enough.
Yeah, Ferox back again on this match with more 6-3. ArcFox with... that's SDPC, right? I never remember.
Well, continuing right now, we do have a lot of well swaps, a surprising amount of well switches on both sides. Ferox has 3 well swaps in. ArcFox is slowly making its way down to the single Mino on the bottom. And it actually ends up swapping again. Yeah, this is a very interesting phase 1 we have here. And Ferox doing some incomplete TSTs, trying to access the well on the left side.
Yeah, and with his stack being high, it comes a challenge of figuring out how to get pieces in to get those eyepieces over, and he does a marvelous job at that, getting a Perfectress 18 lines out of that. But now if ArcFox has a little bit of time to return and gets 17 of his own and enough to send attack back to Ferox.
Yeah, that was a 38 versus 39 interaction, which is usually lower numbers than you'd expect from these players, but all it means is that we're gonna see some interesting, clean situations going on here, even for phase 2. I feel like the phase hasn't really changed because of how the garbage has been going with so far.
Yeah, no, that garbage RNG to start this match just really put a toll on these players, it seemed, but they're pushing through marvelously, and now both players have a max zone and just having to figure out when's the best time to pop that to send all of the attack to their opponent and catch them off guard if possible.
Yeah, Ferox unfortunately does have a few holes in their stack, so ArcFox is past the 40k threshold. Ferox not too far behind. Ferox actually is going to end up zoning at an unfortunate time, and they're not going to be able to use all their material, not even going to transition, so ArcFox gets the time that they need to maybe even find a kill shot into this phase 3 transition.
Yeah, having this phase 2 with such a clean board gives all of the room that you need for a good zone, and gets 46 on 19 out of that, and that's with phase 3 now in action. Ferox has to figure out a way to get through this. It's enough that it's not going to kill, but
that's a side ties on ArcFox's board, and they're gonna try and restack it for a higher combo. If Ferox can't find something to cancel, this TST is definitely gonna help. It's still gonna be scary because they have all this cheese on the board and not enough accessible material above them. And ArcFox is gonna restack the side ties, but their res is gonna get interrupted, so trying to keep this combo is going to be tough, but they're going to manage to do it. This is truly some of the PPT skills you're seeing here with how often these side ties end up working.
Yeah, 4-wide is real something that you gotta get good at in order to perform well, but ArcFox is doing it and being able to keep up the pressure against Ferox here, and despite Ferox taking the first 2 rounds, it still could go ArcFox's way real easily at any moment.
That is a lot of receiving lines on ArcFox's board, but they do see the zone chunk, so if they get a high zone clear here, they might resend to Ferox and be able to compound their advantage. And oh my gosh, Ferox is actually going to be the one to send to ArcFox. ArcFox wasn't able to break through, and we are going to return to neutral with Ferox on the zone charge advantage.
Yeah, and with all of that stacking that Ferox had during ArcFox's zone, that gave a lot of momentum, and now ArcFox is right up at the top of their board there, and Ferox is still putting on the pressure despite the few lines at the bottom. So now ArcFox has to get what they can, but not going to be too much, and it'll be a struggle at the end of this.
Yeah, very nice mention about those lines on the bottom. That Ferox is actually gonna fully clear right now, all the way up to 19 lines, and stack of side ties, trying to give ArcFox a taste of their own medicine. But yeah, when it comes to phase 3, trying to keep that efficiency over top of the garbage is a worthwhile strat, and it is gonna prove beneficial as ArcFox realizes they don't have the time they need and just slam their top out.
Yeah, as we go on to game 3, we'll get to see more 6-3 by ArcFox, and it seems that Ferox decided to do a little bit of delaying to begin this game. It does a 6-3 and now has an 09 stack with that garbage that can send a whole lot if he does it right.
I like to theorize that Ferox was just resting their hands there, especially in phase 1 where like... Oh no! I don't even get to finish my statement! Ferox's waiting definitely does prove beneficial as they're going to take their 4th consecutive round, trying to go on sweep pace.
Yeah, just a couple misplaced pieces at the in inopportune times for ArcFox there. Just put them a little too high up, and now they've got to play with 4 games to make up to break even.
Yeah, it is going to be an uphill battle from ArcFox from now on, but they do have a pretty nice well. It's of course it's going to swap when I say that, but they've got a lot of 9-0 clean, going to be forced to use the zone just for the sake of actually being able to access all their materials, not being pushed up too high to where that limited space from zone is going to play a issue. And Ferox is actually just going to do a very quick zone not too far behind them and even out the pacing.
Yeah, and with nearly identical zone times, Ferox's speed coming out of that really proved beneficial and gave him yet another win.
Definitely a good mention of speed there. They played triple-digit APM and 139 drops per minute, and oh no, ArcFox. We're gonna see the mental start to get to them. I'm not sure if it was a bad bag or something, but Ferox is now on match point. Oh no! I'm not sure if ArcFox is dealing with technical difficulties or something, but that is the set. Ferox takes it. Very unfortunate way to end that. Would have been a very nice matchup, but I don't think ArcFox's head was very much in the game. Gonna see how they end up dealing with that in the losers rounds.